Well, some big news just came across our email this afternoon. RTD just announced it's being sued by Denver Transit Partners. That's the group of companies that acts as a contractor for the A line and the G line for issues surrounding the crossing gates. According to a statement from RTD, DTP wants more money to fix the issues the government has with the crossings. We have not heard yet from the DTP tonight. The lawsuit was just filed today, and it's clear that they're both pointing fingers at each other. We're still trying to figure out this big legal battle. We'll likely have more tomorrow night. You know that feeling you get when you buy something and it just keeps costing more money? What do? Do you get rid of that boat? What about a prison that's been sitting empty and unused for years? You're paying for it whether you like it or not. We've done numerous stories on this failure in government. The prison, originally known as Colorado State Penitentiary No. 2, now known as Centennial South, has cost us Colorado taxpayers $200 million. It was built for solitary confinement, but then the state changed the law and ended solitary confinement. Then the prison became obsolete and unusable. Like an item nobody wants on eBay, the state cannot find a buyer or even a renter. So the solution? Throw more money at it. Today, some state lawmakers on the Joint Budget Committee approved about $1 million. Part of that money will build a recreational yard in the empty prison. I guess there's still hope this 8-year-old facility might be used someday. After all, as Colorado grows, so does its prison population.
Because every year we've added new felonies. Last year there was a new felony DUI. The year before we had an extension for gun crimes that made the sentences longer. So each new of those crimes increases prison population. So if you don't fix the front end, there's only so much you can do in the back end.
Now, there are plans to open this prison in the year 2022 for prisoners, which is why it needs a rec yard. But lawmakers will have to pass a law before it can legally open. If political ads were completely honest, we might have to fill this show with some puppies. But you and I both know political ads start with a little bit of truth and then take a right turn. Our politics guy, Marshall Zellinger, is back with the truth test on the governor's race.
For 5 years, though, before you entered Congress, you paid no federal income tax.
This part of the ad is true, but come on. It's lacking so much context, and it's edited in such a way that it misleads you as to why Polis did not pay taxes in the years before he became a congressman. First, this was part of a question by political reporter Sean Boyd from a May 30th debate on Colorado Public Television, Channel 12. There's a reason Polis did not pay taxes, and he actually answers that, but the ad chose to just show 7 words of his answer.
And I think that's, completely appropriate.
Stop. What's not completely appropriate is how the makers of this ad, the Republican Governors Association, left out everything he said before that.
First of all, I paid a heck of a lot of taxes in the years I made money. When you don't make money, you can't pay taxes. And since I've been in public service, my expenses have been greater than my income. And that's simply the fact. And I think that's, completely appropriate.
Full disclosure. I have not seen Polis's tax returns, but when he was running for Congress in 2008, the Boulder Daily Camera and Denver Post both reviewed 7 years of his tax returns. The reporters found that he did not pay income taxes from 2001 to 2005 because in 4 of those years he showed a net loss in income. At the time, the Daily Camera reported that Polis took a loss while developing companies. When he did make money, Polis paid more than $18 million in taxes because of his $120 million income. The ad we just showed you led to a response ad by the Polis campaign. In their ad, they use a word that I'm actually going to use on itself.
Oh boy, he's at it again.
That's bona fide false.
Walker Stapleton.
This is false.
And false TV ads, now attacking Jared Polis.
Well, this section of Jared Polis's response ad is also false. It's not Walker Stapleton who is responsible for the previous ad about his taxes. It's the Republican Governors Association. It may not sound like much, but it's an important distinction. The RGA supports Stapleton's campaign for governor, but it's not Stapleton. His campaign has not spent any money on TV ads yet. Here's why it's still important to know those are not Stapleton ads, Jeremy. It's because it's actually illegal for Stapleton to coordinate with outside groups like the Republican Governors Association and vice versa. The same goes for Jared Polis and any outside group that supports him and anyone running for office. I can't tell you how often I hear tips, hey, this group is coordinating with the other, but it's really impossible to prove unless you have documentation. And it really probably, if it happens, it's so quiet, but it's not happening in this case.
Don't these folks know we do these truth tests here? Come on. I mean, they got to get straight. I don't think that'll ever happen, though. Thanks a lot, Marshall. Let me share something with you which kind of leads into our next story. Yesterday, I saw a car parked just south of Colfax with a sign that said senior housing needed, not tickets. He's talking about parking tickets there. I talked to a man who was living inside that car. He's 79 years old. He's been trying to get affordable housing. It's clear there's not enough of it as gentrification continues in Denver. It just so happens my friend Kyle recently talked to the new head of housing here in Denver. Her name is Britta Fisher. Her boss is Mayor Michael Hancock, who says housing is the most critical issue facing our city today. Yeah, no kidding. We see that every day on the streets. But is that need reflected in the affordable housing budget?
We are trying to maximize the leveraged resources that are out there so that we can do the most good with the public dollar. And so I think it's a great step. Is it enough? Is it everything? No, but I do think it is a major priority of this administration.
So the city has recently come up with about $15 million additional for affordable housing. To put that in some perspective for people, the light up sign out near the airport that we've talked about cost us $11.5 million. What could you have done for affordable housing with another $11.5 million?
Yeah, so we put about $30,000 per unit into affordable housing. So take that amount, and that tells you how many units we could potentially leverage with that amount of funding. When
you've got folks who are in a neighborhood, perhaps long-term, perhaps generationally, and can no longer afford to live there, can gentrification and development happen in a neighborhood without displacement?
I think there's some that will happen. It's the rapid pace is very hard for folks, and so how can we even that out? How can we give people that hope and that chance if they want to live in their neighborhood, that they can do that? I've also seen people who are very happy to cash in on that investment that they've made in a neighborhood and choose to live somewhere else, and that's their choice as well. But for those who want to stay, we want to make that a possibility.
And can I ask you about the word gentrification? That kind of became the flashpoint of a debate within the last year, that this is the ink coffee sign that people got so excited about. And then we heard some pushback from viewers saying, explain to me how gentrification is not just simply development cast in a pejorative light. When you hear that term, how do you think about the idea of gentrification?
Well, I've worked in community and economic development for a while, and I see us trying to make more complete neighborhoods. There are neighborhoods that have lacked investment and amenities that people want. And as those investments and amenities come in, it also changes the neighborhood. And so how do we balance those things that keep the fabric of a neighborhood in place, that the people that want to stay there can stay there, but also get some of these amenities more equitably distributed throughout our city?
Kyle's full interview with Britta Fisher is on the next YouTube page. They talk about a lot of things, including what other cities are doing that could also help Denver. The heroes on the Rocky Mountain Honor Flight are probably just finishing up dinner tonight after a long travel day. Tomorrow, the good stuff. They'll visit several memorials dedicated to their service. Our Steve Stager caught up with these brave men and women at the airport today.
I've been looking forward to this. It'll be a great 3 days.
Thank you. What do you think about all this?
Well, I'm kind of overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed. Overwhelmed.
Thank you, sir. Thank you again, sir. Appreciate you, sir.
What are you looking forward to in D.C.? Have you seen these monuments?
I'll tell you what I'm looking for. This is the main thing. I'm going to take this in the World War II wall.
Yeah.
All my buddies that killed, I'm going to take a picture of their names.
What do you look forward to? I think look forward to see all the memorials and the monuments that are so important that everyone should see.
What are you most proud of about everything you've done in your life?
Most proud of just doing my job. But I had to do it. That's how I feel. I did my job, and that's the way it was, you know. And that's what I'm proud of, that I accomplished something.
The Great American Beer Fest kicked off today, so we decided to throw back to the very first one. We're going back to the 80s. Tomorrow is the last day of summer. It'll be sunny and cooler. Warmer temperatures are on tap for the weekend. Get that? On tap, Beer Fest? Yeah, whatever. And another example to remind everyone, that's not how you Colorado. Seriously, come on. That's next.
For your Throwback Thursday, we're throwing it back to the very first Great American Beer Festival. It was held in 1982. I was 3 years old then. Of course, I didn't go. This was at the Harvest House Hotel in Boulder, a tad bit smaller of a venue than the 58,000 square feet of the Colorado Convention Center. There were 24 breweries then. This year, there are about 800. There were 47 beers to try in 1982. This year, there are about 4,000 brews. There were 800 attendees the first year. This year, there will be about 62,000, and one of those is Kyle, which is why he's off this week. Take a look at that. Guys with beers and beards. Some things just don't change.
Ah, the 80s, Jeremy. That was college for me, and there were beer festivals going on back then, too, in college. Not quite like what we're talking about today, but yeah, you did take me back there. Hey, look at this. It's time to go. Check out the leaves in the high country. We've got some changing weather that may bring some of those leaves down. How about the high today? 84. Tomorrow will be close to the average of 77. Tomorrow's the last full day of summer. And we had some summer showers last night, didn't we? Well, that whole line is moving east. Severe weather is the threat in the Midwest, but for Colorado and points westward, we're heading into a weekend that just looks terrific. September, my favorite month out of the year, those crystal clear blue skies, light winds, and those changing colors in the high country. But it also means cool nights. Tonight in the northwest, a freeze warning out. Temperatures in the 20s for Steamboat and Craig, Meeker, and Vail even. Mid-40s tonight with fair skies downtown. Nice night. Chilly start to your day, and we've got 75. Somewhere sunny and 75 in Denver's Joe Nichols sings. And we get you into the first full weekend of fall with 80s. Cool, wet weather on Monday with temperatures in the 60s and then back to the 70s early next week. Doesn't this make you just want to go for a drive, Jeremy? Let's do it.
It's wonderful up there. Thank you, Kathy. Here is another example to remind you that's not how you Colorado. Kevin Barr went up to Kenosha Pass to check out all the leaves changing colors, and then he realized how many people were just leaving their dog poop in the bags outside of the bathroom. Come on, Colorado, we're better than this. Find a trash can for that. Don't just leave it on the ground and make it somebody else's problem. Be a responsible dog owner. That's not how you Colorado.
If you get a little too boozed up at a Broncos game and then get kicked out, you actually might be able to come back to the stadium if you do this one thing. A former CU mascot talks about the slight debacle involving a current CU mascot. It's that whole incident with the t-shirt cannon.
Chip, I hope you feel better. Take it easy.
And another familiar voice takes over the train at DIA. Hold on, the doors are closing. That's next.
So we're about valuable knowledge here on Next, things that will enhance your life. Did you know that when fans get too drunk at Bronco games and that get kicked out, they're actually allowed to come back? But before they do, they have to take a costly conduct class. Seriously. A very sober Noel Brennan simulates how it all works.
It's a beautiful afternoon at Broncos Stadium. Joel sure thinks it is. Imagine it's game day. And Joel is a Broncos fan. He goes to the game, has a great time, but cracks open one too many beers. He becomes an unruly fan. So stadium security promptly ejects him. Joel is sorry and wants to go back to Broncos Stadium. But NFL rules mandate he must complete an online fan conduct class for the very reasonable fee of $250. The 4-hour course covers alcohol abuse and public intoxication, skills to improve one's empathy, judgment, stress, and communication. The Broncos say there are 5 to 10 unruly fans per game who face detox, arrest, or ejection. There were more than 100 last season, fewer than 20 so far this season. All must complete the fan conduct class before returning to the stadium, or they could be arrested for trespassing. But Joel, the once unruly fan, took the class and passed the exam with flying colors. So the Broncos welcome him back. For next, I'm Noel Brennan.
Nice one, Joel. Noel. The NFL has been using the fan conduct class since 2012. Many Major League Soccer stadiums now require it too for their fans who've been red carded. You've probably seen this video by now, the video of Chip the Mascot up in Boulder being hit below the belt with a t-shirt cannon. Well, we can't show you that video here because we don't have the rights to that video, but you should Google it if you haven't seen it yet. Go ahead and do that as we talk about this. We do know he was eventually taken off the field in a cart. So today, we thought it would be a good idea to get a former Chip to talk about this incident. Mike Carter Conine was Chip from 2001 to 2003. He tweeted that his thoughts and prayers were with the poor soul inside the costume when that incident happened.
What was my first thought? I thought, man, that looks painful. I experienced a lot of pain in my 2 years as Chip. You know, those students, they get rough at those football games. They are pumped up, adrenaline rushing, other stuff rushing through their bodies. And it was a lot of fun. I have a lot of great memories of my time. But whenever you ventured into the student section, you had to be ready for some fists. The thing about those costumes is they're not very thick. It's not like it's all padded. What advice would I have? You might want to go see a fertility doctor. I would maybe start there.
Chip did tweet that he was okay after that incident. Chip also tweeted today that there's a golf tournament coming up on October 5th. The proceeds will help out the CU Spirit team, which could help get a better t-shirt cannon, according to Chip's Twitter account. It's official. A new voice will welcome you if you hop on a certain train at DIA, and you'll probably recognize it in your feedback. That's next. Welcome back. The next time you go to DIA, you're finally going to hear new voices on the train between concourses and the terminal. Denver sports announcer Alan Roach and 9 News anchor Kim Christensen are the official voices. Kim is replacing Adele Arakawa, who was the voice since 2007. Kim's message is a little different than Adele's, of course.
Please keep clear of the doors as this train is departing.
If you really like the sounds enough to hear them all of the time, DIA has posted all of the train call ringtones on its website. You can make that your ringtone for your iPhone or Android. And a little bit of feedback tonight. A fan of mine, Carol Love, as we talk about Oktoberfest, she says, Hoholafest. Now that word easily rolls off the tongue. It sure does. Enjoy Great American Beer Fest, everybody, especially Kyle. See you tomorrow.